How freaking amazingly delicious does this Oreo cake look? It's a triple Oreo cake, meaning there's Oreos in the cake, between the layers, and around the cake. And I'm going to show you today how I made this. I start out with butter at room temperature as always, and I add in total 2 cups of sugar, but I mix after adding the first cup before adding the next one. And now to the eggs. In total, I add about 4 eggs to this cake. But I leave some time before adding each egg. So I add 1 egg, mix it for 30 to 60 seconds, add the next one, and so on until it's all well combined and fluffy. We like fluffy in a cake. At this point, you're going to have to resist the urge to dip your finger in it and try it. I tend to do that, and it's a really bad habit. Now to the dry ingredients. I have here some flour, and by the way, the exact measurements can be found in the link below. I add in some baking powder and a dash of salt, combine those dry ingredients, and then I add in some vanilla extract. For some reason, I always forget to add it until this stage. And then I add the flour mixture to the cake batter. So to add liquid, I'm using just 1 cup of milk, adding that to the batter one bit at a time while adding in the flour until everything's been used up and the batter is really rich and creamy. Now at this stage I add the Oreos. I'm not adding the filling because the filling doesn't taste good when it's baked, so it's just the shells. I'm adding those in last because I want my cake to still look whitish. I don't want it to turn brown, and I'm leaving the chunks pretty large. And then I'm dividing this batter between 2 cake tins. I believe these are about 6-inch cake tins, and they're kind of deeper, so I'm going to be cutting the cakes in each 2 layers, getting 4 layers in total. Then these cakes go into the oven at about 100 to 180 degrees for about 40 to 60 minutes, depending on your oven, really. And then I level the cakes off, and you can see the Oreo chunks already in my cake there on top, and it's so delicious. So as I mentioned, I'm creating 4 layers in total. And now to the filling. I create 2 different types of filling. I create a cream cheese frosting, and I use this to pipe on the border of the cake or on the edge of the cake, and in the middle of the filling, or as the main filling, I use a heavy cream-based mixture. I use the cream cheese frosting to ensure that the heavy cream stuff doesn't just burst out of the cake and just flow all over. Cream cheese frosting, and this is the cream cheese here, which I'm adding, keeps everything in, and it's also a great way to just wrap the cake and decorate the cake. So this is cream cheese. I add that to butter, which I've mixed well, and combining those, and then adding in powdered sugar and some vanilla extract, and this is super delicious. Unfortunately, people in Germany aren't really a big fan of buttered based frostings, which is why I add the heavy cream one as the main filling. Now here's the heavy cream. Now to the heavy cream mixture. I have heavy cream. I'm adding a stiffener. I guess it's kind of like a cream of tartar. And then the inside of the Oreos, these were the Oreos that I had used previously for the inside of the cake, adding in some powdered sugar, mixing all that until it's really nice, stiff, and delicious. Then I'm chopping some Oreos, and I'm going to bring it all together now. I add the first layer of cake on a cake board, and then I'm going to pipe in the cream cheese frosting on the edge of this cake, and I'm going to go around about twice to create kind of like a deeper effect, or just more filling, to be able to add more filling to the inside. Now the heavy cream. Oh my god, this looks so delicious, doesn't it? And the chopped Oreos. And then I'm going to repeat this process for each of the next layers. Here I'm adding the top layer and I'm getting ready to decorate the cake. So I wrap the cake in cream cheese frosting that I had left over, smooth it out real well, add a crumble coat of course, place it in the fridge, and then I add the second layer. And then I had melted some chocolate over a water bath. This is dark chocolate, and I added in a little bit of heavy cream just to make it a little bit smoother so that it could flow. And then once it's at room temperature, I spread it over the cake later. Then I have 8 Oreos, or actually 8 shells, that makes it 4 Oreos. Chopping that up or grinding it up until I have this powder consistency. And then I place that on the edge of the cake. Or I push it into the cream cheese frosting, rather, I should say. Now I add the dark chocolate to the top. Oh my god, this looks so yummy. And then finally adding the remainder of the Oreo powder or the Oreo crumbs to the top. And I have still some cream cheese frosting left, and I use that to pipe some stars on top of the cake. And then I add Oreos, which I've split in half, and use those to decorate on top of the cake. And then I'm done. And of course, I'm sure you want to see what the cake looks like on the inside, so my boyfriend's helped me cut the cake while I film. It's pretty smooth. The knife goes down just so smoothly. And we've cut a pretty big slice so you can see the inside of the cake. And it's just as delicious as it looks. I hope you enjoyed this recipe. Give it a thumbs up if you did, and subscribe for more of my videos in English. Bye!